Durante with a free header.
And the honour of Western United's first A-League goal goes to a familiar face. Bessart Barisha.
It's Connor Payne on the left.
Alessandro Diamante, the ball on a string. And
Diamante! And the Western service crew are celebrating.
And that we are. Welcome back to All Out West in a week of amazing football. Adelaide nudged past CCM to play City in the finals. An amazing performance from Jamie Young puts the Woo through. Western New Wanderers are having a war of attrition and jettisoning like 6 players on the same night we played. And the A-League trade period is starting. This week you're joined by myself, your host Wallace. We've got Jay and we got Kellsy. How's things, guys?
Good after that win on the weekend. Couple of wins. The Tigers got up. The Woo got up. And probably why... he's at work. But Scotty wouldn't show up because Liverpool got up over Chelsea, which I can...
Yes.
I think we're
Congratulations. Congratulations to Liverpool winning their 8th FA Cup, or the amount of FA Cups I've seen Arsenal win in my lifetime.
Mickey Mouse Cups, mate. Honestly, only wanted to do it to complete. It's just doing it to complete the set. We really weren't fussed with that one.
No. You did something Arsenal did back in '93, beat the same team in both the League Cup and FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Wow.
If only it was Chelsea as well. For you boys.
No, we beat Sheffield. We beat Sheffield Wednesday in both of those matches.
Rough day to be a Sheffield fan.
Hopefully it wasn't a Wednesday.
Or 2 rough days, yeah.
They wouldn't have been playing there. But yeah, great week. What a banger of a game we're at. Jay and I were at. I was probably in peak form. But yeah, it's going to be a great one. We'll go. Do you guys want to go straight into the game review?
Yeah, no problem.
Let's just go bash into it because I think we'll have a bit to say today. Kellsy, do you want to handle it or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll go with it. So, on Saturday, 14th of May, West United made its first finals appearance since the 1920 season and in front of a home crowd for the very first time. Who better than to partake in this skirmish, and in my opinion, our truest rival / friendliest, the team with the who have won each of the 8 previous encounters, essentially. We have, I don't know. And we have only one game, the Wellington Phoenix. But we have only one game, I'm guessing is what you tried to write there.
Yeah, it's been a big day, man. It's been a big day.
No hate. So, what was the game, the vibe like game day?
Ooh, I can speak for myself here, but very, very nervous. Obviously, that stat only ever beating Wellington once was definitely playing in the back of my mind. I was nervous, but same time I was nervous. At the same time, I was like filled with anticipation, ready to go. Like a lot of mixed emotions. Like I can't even put it into words. Like was confident without being confident. It's hard to explain it because it's like that was a game that really could have gone either way.
Yeah, I think it was really exciting that day. It was good to catch up with everyone at the pub pre-game. We're not obviously a big supporter group, but we're very tight and we all get together and have a nice time. And there's just a nice buzz around people there. Everyone was excited. Everyone was nervous because it was obviously the team that really been a punish for the last 3 seasons. But wow, it was just, great feeling, a lot of excitement. Great turnout in the active end that day, don't you think, Jay?
Yeah, there were a lot of people behind the goals. It was a bit rough though, trying to keep Chans going because obviously we haven't done it for about a month. Really had a big home game, but once we got going, we started sounding pretty good and having a ball up the active end.
That was a very festive day.
See, for me personally, because I wasn't there with you to get the excitement and all that, all I got was just the nervousness. On a very small phone screen at a dinner for my mother. Sorry, Mum. But the game was more important. Look, I think the attendance is a bit below my expectations with 3,376 people. Look, it was, as you said, it was great to see heaps of people in the active bay, but how did you guys find the crowd? Do you reckon we should have had more there?
I might jump in there. A few things to consider is the club put on buses from Geelong and stuff because there was service disruptions, and there will be this following weekend as well to the whole V line that majority of our fans exist upon. Is this a government conspiracy to prevent us from winning? I don't know, but I'm joking. It's not. But the club put buses on to help Geelong people get to the stadium, which is really nice. And they're doing that again this Tuesday and on Saturday again to help fans get there from Geelong. Us on the in Werribee in the 3030 can still catch the metro train, which is a little bit longer. No toilets, which really were difficult on the way home. But yeah, it was a great. I think it was. I was expecting close to 5,000 personally, but there was a good vibe around the ground. Seeing a lot of green and black. It doesn't need to be the biggest to be great, in my opinion. Jay, you.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed, to be completely honest. I thought there'd be a bigger turnout, but ultimately, I'm sure there were a few regulars that were missing. I'm sure people have their reasons, but it was a very big game, and I'm glad the people that did show up got to experience a bit of history with our first ever home finals win, because that's not something you see every week. Obviously, we've got a massive game coming up against Victory. Now, it's going to be hard to get down to the Tuesday game for some people. I'm going to be pushing it, but I do implore as many people as possible to get down to the Saturday game, regardless of the scoreline from Tuesday, because we've got to get down there, support our boys, because, they've all said it to us before, they play better when we're in full voice and they have the crowd behind them. So look at that, 3 away games, didn't get a win. And in our last couple of home games where we've had support, we've won them all. So I reckon if we get down there and make some noise, 100% we can get under the Buck skin and get a win, or hopefully 2 wins.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Now, with the when the lineup was announced, it had Dylan Windsor Hall's Preo and Wales all starting in the same side. How do you guys think that turned out?
Well, it started out pretty well because we were on the counter pretty hard from the get-go, and countering did seem to be the best way forward. I think at halftime we had 33% of possession, but double the shots and 5 shots on target to 1. So we were definitely playing off the counter. It's definitely something Aloisi set out to do, and I think he did it pretty well.
Yeah, 100%. It's I think it worked for us very well. As you said, we were so much more dynamic and fluid on in transition, which is really nice to see. Is get the ball and do something constructive with it. I know it's later in the run sheet, but Scatardis had a shot on goal and played well. I think this worked really good for us in a number of areas, and Wellington aren't a bad side in any way, shape, or form.
Nah, when they're on, they're a very, very good defensive side. So it was always going to be hard to squeeze a goal out of them, but we did it in the end, and I was very happy with the effort. Honestly, both teams should have had a couple of goals at the very least, but I think we definitely had the better of the chances and a lot more chances in the end.
Well, we'll segue into the reason why Wellington didn't score first. We'll start with personally who I think was the player of the match in Jamie Young. He had a lot of brilliant saves, including one just 5 minutes in from Piscopo. Piscopo. It's all the same. And what about that one where he pretty much, it was about the 60th, 70th minute? That real banger of save. What do you guys think of Jamie Young?
When I saw that save, the second one, or the first one, let's talk about the first one. Diving to your right, palming it around to his right, palming it around the post. I thought, I don't think we'll see a much better save than that today. 70th minute, the best save I've ever seen, at a game, and top 5 I've ever seen, live. I could not believe. I thought for all money that was gone in. I can't believe he didn't keep that out. It looked like he didn't from some angles, but VAR didn't overturn it. It was very, very close. Really just a top draw save. And if that, yeah, that was the man of the match right there. That's worth a goal, that save.
What are your thoughts, Wallace?
It's fantastic, and especially the first one because you're right up and Amy Park is such an amazing place to watch football at, and being that close to and seeing that happen 5 minutes deep, you're like, oh my god, this is going to be a tense game. It's going to be crazy, and yeah, Young he's a good player for big games. He has his occasional stuff ups here and there, but consistency. That was his 11th clean sheet for us.
Not to mention, because that first save was right in front of our active, there was a very decent cheer for that first save. We were it was probably about half of a goal cheer. A lot of people were up, fist pumping, on you, Jamie, come on, boys. So that was really a G up for the game and definitely a massive confidence builder for Jamie Young. He looked brilliant all night after that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It did G up the fans. We all got into it a bit more after that because we were a bit slow on it because we did get on the beers a bit earlier that day.
Yeah. So let's get to the actual thing that, the goal that gets us to the next round. Prijovic opened the scoring and also close scoring, funnily enough. His 10-minute goal, which started as a cross from Garuscio to Dylan Wenzel-Halls, but he found it himself out it with his feet and stuck it by one of the best keepers in the league. What do you think of this goal?
I was pretty happy with it. I thought after it had gone, obviously we didn't have the best view from where we were because it was the other side of the ground. But I thought once it went over, I think it was Wenzel-Halls' head, I thought the opportunity for the goal was sort of lost. It was just an overhit cross. And then when Prio picked the ball up, I thought, oh, beautiful, he'll put it back in. And put it back in, he did, an absolute belter of a shot, top of the net. Ollie Sale, Jamie Young wasn't saving that. Sale's no pushover of a keeper and he didn't get anywhere near it. So, that's just clinical finishing, something that Prio hasn't been on top of in the last probably 5 matches or so. But if you can put away chances like those, definitely a shot at the plate. So, or at the toilet seat, should I say. So, very, very happy with that finish. And the product of that obviously being running and crossing in a chaos ball, which we did plenty of all night.
Yeah, it was amazing to see. Just and the ball came from Payne as well. Payne to Garuscio, crossed it over. Dylan Wenzel-Halls couldn't get in there. He had 2 people on him. It just rolls to Prijovic's feet. It was just beautiful. Those things it feels like it was meant to be. It was just a perfect shot. What did you think watching it, Kellsy?
I actually literally just pulled my phone out of my pocket again to give another cheeky look at just as it happened. But I thought it was a great finish. He smashed that into the roof of the net. I don't think anybody was really saving. I think even if he would have gotten a hand to it, it was probably deflecting in anyway, just from the sheer velocity of the shot.
I watched the replay a couple of times to see if he did get a finger to it because it was such a small gap to get into. It's
he banged that in inch perfect.
And obviously Connor Payne, putting in ball after ball after ball with that left peg of his. It was glad to see him get a reward for it because, he had a bunch of shots this game and I reckon entered the box 15 times that whole game. He definitely deserved at least something from it. So that was good to see.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we're 1-0 up. Let's talk about the defensive standpoint. Considering we had Crin at the back to her partner Lacroix, given Topper Stanley's injury, we were really quite solid, and this was quite possibly Crin's best performance for us. Helped keep it Wallace, Piscopo, Hooper all at bay. How are you guys happy with the defensive setup given what we had?
Well, I remember at some point during the game, probably would have been about, about 65th, 70th minute. I remember looking at Rene Crin after he made a run and then cut a ball out and thinking, damn, he's played a tremendous game today. He's covered that position very, very well. I was very happy with it. Obviously, we love Nikolai and wish him well, but I think if he can just find that extra gear, we're a real chance at going all the way this season. I think there's still I think he can still give us a bit more. I don't think he's fully hit his stride yet, but definitely impressed with the performance, especially playing in a position that he doesn't usually play in.
No. I think it was a great decision by putting him there and, again, excelled. Although it wouldn't have been bad to see Collins get a bit of game time there. In such a game like this, it's just he's got more experience. He did a
experience matters in this kind of your finals football. The experience means the world.
And sometimes experience is being able to handle the stress or being able to step up to the plate and deliver on a big occasion such as this. So that's what I think he brought to the table, that X factor, good skill. And he's I think he's peaking at a good time for us this season.
And not to mention you have the fan voted best centre-back in the league playing alongside him. Leo looked as cool as ever. And, you know, that the experience Leo has, obviously marking players like Mbappe and Kun Aguero and stuff in his career, really showed today, really showed on Saturday, because it looked like for him, it was just another game out there and the pressure didn't apply. He was cool every time he got to the ball. He was quick, he was fresh the whole game, and he defended quite well.
Yeah, he was completely unfazed by this game. To him, it was just a Saturday.
He had a really good interview come out today, which was really nice. Western United did with him, and he seems like a positive person. I spoke to him briefly after the game when he come around and doing the old handshake and stuff, and he just seems really excited to be here. You know what I mean? Like sometimes internationals or marquee signings don't seem that. You know what I mean? It's to stop.
They're not here for the experience. They're here for the dollars
or the holiday, and he seems like he's loving it here. He just has a really good vibe. He's really down to earth, and some messages I've seen with him, some other fans, been really good.
I did love after the game. He came up with the rest of the team, and did the old smack of the logo and was shouting out something. I think it was it Vamonos or something like that.
He likes a good Vamos. I think he likes a Vamos.
So he was trying to G us up. He was very, very happy. Grinning from ear to ear. You do love to see it, and we're talking. There's obviously been a lot of talk about marquee signings floating around, and a lot of teams picking up big players. I would take holding on to him over picking up anyone else at the moment. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from Leo.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely one of our top acquisitions this season. He's not just because he can reach stuff high.
We've made some really good acquisitions in the off season. Has to be said again.
Well, we wouldn't be finishing third coming into finals if we didn't recruit well.
Well, you look at that final, right? You got Prijovic who scored, one of the acquisitions. You got Young who was saved at the other end, one of the acquisitions. Then you got Leo who was just completely unfazed by the occasion. Yeah. Again, the other recruit, they're all recruits there.
Garuccio linking up with one of our long-running players, Payne, like you said, Rene Crin before. And then, we also had a bench full of youth. A lot of those players we did pick up last season, like Theo Harris, who ended up coming on and actually playing quite well, I thought. I was very happy. And you do need to recruit well, especially in the A-League, because we know there is a high turnover rate for these players. Some are here for a holiday. Some aren't, are here to use it as a stepping stone to get up into the bigger leagues. But after seeing that sort of performance, obviously there's holes. Wellington shouldn't be having as many shots as they do, and Jamie Young shouldn't have to be making these magnificent saves all the time. But I think we're in a good place mentally after that win, because that's the sort of win that it's hard fought.
It's a bit of a G up before our next two wars with victory.
It's probably a win we needed ahead of this. Now, just to move on, Wallace, I'm going to segue this over to you. I believe it's a player you want to give a bit of a mention, a bit of a shout out to. You briefly touched on it a bit earlier.
Yeah, let me just Scatata. Oh no. I would like to give a big mention to Jerry Scatatas, who had possibly his best game with us at A-League level. He's been doing amazing in NPL, But he had 94% passing accuracy, he had 78% of duels won, and a really solid shot on goal, which I did mention before. I think he's definitely earning a place in our squad. Maybe not a starter every week for us at the moment, but I think he's going to be working himself into being someone who could stay in our midfield, be decent there.
Yeah, 100% most improved player as well. I was sort of at the end of last season. I would have written Skitatis off, and I would have been. I was probably like, if we had moved in on, I would have been like, yeah, no problem with me. No offense, Jerry, but shows what I know. He's been brilliant, I think, this year, and he's really come leaps and bounds in his football career. So I'm very, very
100%.
proud, very happy he's doing well.
Well, the thing is, Mark Rudan, especially last season when we didn't have as much depth, and we don't have that much depth midfield this season, gave him a lot of game time in the 2 seasons that he was with us. And we did at times give him a bit of flack for the issues. Like, I think there was a time in Ballarat, he had a bit of a bad game. But to see him develop is probably one of the really good things about having a proper academy now, to have them learning week in, week out, training with top players. It's really good to see. Imagine how much knowledge he'd get from a Kilkenny and a Crin. You know what I mean? And a Diamante.
Neil Kenny, who was our standing captain this week as well. So not just, obviously shows his leadership week in, week out, but obviously got promoted to the big time role this weekend. Very, very happy with his performance as well. Someone we haven't mentioned, but he was all over the park trying to get his, hands on the ball as much as he could.
And another shout out too, as Wallace was pointing out before the pod, one thing we haven't looked at enough is his whole family's still in Perth too. Like, he's here by himself week in, week out doing the job for us.
He's missed a lot of, there was an article come out today, I think it was on Keep Up. I shared it to our Facebook page. And oh my God, dude's really busting hard to play for us. He's been such a positive influence for us. And if we didn't have him and we were in the same situation, I don't think we would have been successful this season or as successful. To have that leadership and experience in the middle of the park, so it's worth its weight in gold.
I think he's he might not be the easiest guy to play with, so far as he expects a lot of the people around him, but I think the results speak for themselves. When people play well and when he plays well, we tend to win games. So,
and he doesn't expect anything from anybody else that he doesn't expect from himself.
Exactly.
100%. I think it's about time he got to wear the captain's armband. I'm pro Topper Stanley. I'm very pro Topper Stanley. I'm very pro Risdon. But I think he's got that experience and the kind of the knack to bark at someone to do the job properly. And especially with a few younger people who still learning the ropes, still developing. I think, as we've spoken about before, getting into Lockie Wales, defend, get forward. You've heard him get into other players, not just Lockie Wales, but Skitatis.
Well, it's attention to detail.
Yeah.
He understands the attention to details.
Yeah. I don't know everything else. He's been a great signing for us. I can't name which one is the best for me personally, because I think they've all really excelled in multiple areas in the park.
Yeah, we've really covered all the positions we were struggling in last year, and we've strengthened the ones we weren't. So
and honestly,
all our signings.
It hasn't just been one signing here that's the best. It's been the collective sum of all their parts that have created this cohesiveness that have allowed us to be as good as we have been this year. You take one out, we're missing something. They've all been equally what we've needed.
Couldn't agree more, mate.
So Skitatis was eventually subbed off for the returning Josh Risdon. Good to have him back. It was also great to see Milanovic and Bozanovsky get some time. Is there anybody else you guys would have liked to have seen come on? I know you touched on Collins earlier, Wallace.
Yeah. Because there's also Botic and Ryan Scott and Thea Harris on the bench. So we had a lot of good options. On. So did I.
It must have been Bozanovsky that came on because I couldn't see from down the other end. But I thought he was
as well.
I did like the because Milanovic came on very late and gave us a lot of good darting runs and
got a yellow.
You got a yellow, but that's honestly, that was like a 50-50 yellow. One of them was going to kick out and give it away, sort of yellow. But what did he do? He got the ball up the other end and slowed the game up, which is what we needed at that point, because we either needed another goal or time to pass as quickly as possible. And he got in there and did his job. So I was very happy with that performance. As for everyone else, as much as I'd like to see more play, especially Scotty, good luck replacing Young. And I think the subs we made were perfect. So sorry, Scotty, but yeah, your position's well and truly filled at the moment. However, I do want to say one thing about Ryan Scott. Obviously, at the end of the game, he came up and started doing the Western chant as per usual.
Oh, yeah.
But there was something I didn't notice until I went back and watched the game again this week. At the end of the game, everyone was sort of off celebrating. Jamie Young was by himself, obviously. And Scotty ran straight up to him, jumped up to him and hugged him and said, and, was probably with a few expletives, giving him a few compliments. Like you could see a pointing and, some grabbing and then some kisses on the forehead, that sort of stuff. That's what you want from your backup goalkeeper or, your second choice keeper, because, it's good to know that if Young goes out, there's someone passionate about the game and the result and the squad as Ryan Scott, because that happened last year as well. Obviously, Curto backing Scotty up for the whole season or most of the season. That was great to see. And now the roles have been reversed, and Scott has continued that positive influence on the squad and the squad's morale. So, as much as I love Scotty on the field, he's a great influence wherever he is, even if it is on the bench. He's almost like having a 12th man out there, or 13th man, the service crew of the 12th.
He, for me, is one of the greatest showmen. He's an amazing person to have in the locker rooms. He's amazing for fans to I love him coming, grabbing the service crew megaphone after the game and getting some Western chants going. He G's everyone up. He's got such a great mentality. He's someone I want to see at the club for the next 20 years. I don't know what job.
He's a positive vibe.
Yeah, I want him to be our next keeper, full-time keeper when Young's gone. And I just love the vibe. He's such a good dude. Yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to say that as well, I think he needs to pursue his career as well while he's got the chance. So it's unless he's getting game time next year with us, I do hope he can get game time elsewhere, but it has to be first choice, because I think he definitely deserves to be first choice somewhere. Not an NPL level or anything, like A-League level, but, I definitely see him. Honestly, I see him going to MacArthur or something at some point. Just because, or another team with a struggling keeper. Maybe a lot of the keepers are aging out, and that even includes Jamie Young. So could happen there. But obviously, there is a high demand for keepers in the A-League a lot of the time. Would not surprise me if we see him go to another club.
I'd hate to see that, but want him to do well.
Yeah, exactly. You've only got a finite amount of time in your career, and you don't want to spend it all on the bench, unless you're winning trophies, which he might do this season with Western. Let's hope so.
And someone that positive deserves to be playing. When you're that positive, you deserve to be getting game time and enjoying it. But speaking of keepers, Aloisi summed that up best in the post-game presser. The game came down to two great goalkeeping performances, and Young managed to have a great saves.
Great performance from both keepers. Top three keepers in the league. Only one of them's left now, and that's Young. So that's great for us.
100%.
Yeah, I was just happy we got the W over our bogey side. Broke that hoodoo, and we're into the next round. Let's see how we go with two legs. Home and away at Amy Park.
Yay.
Great to see the Wayne train derailed.
Yeah. I actually really like him. He's a good personality, but he always turns it on against us. Now, you guys want to get into Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Now,
this should just wrap it up as well.
Yeah, well, we wrapped it up last week. We're just doing it just for a bit of fun now. Jamie Young's got it. I got to just buy the trophy now. So 3 points to so Leb, you did 3 points to Young, 2 to Wales, 1 to Killer. Sorry, that was Leb. Sorry, my apologies. Jay, you did 3 to Young, 2 to Preo, 1 to Payne. Kellsy did 3 to Young, 2 to Preo, 1 to Killer. Scott did the same as you. And because Jamie Young has enough points and is a country mile in front of everyone, I did 3 to Kilkenny, 2 to Young, 1 to Preo. And now, do you guys want to know how we're looking for who's winning?
Well, we all know who it is. I have a feeling he's winning the season proper, and I feel like he's going to win the finals one as well.
He's not getting a second trophy, is all I'm saying.
I agree. Just do the one.
So Jamie Young's winning on 132 points. 55 points. Yeah, because everyone tips him every week.
Yeah, because he's great every week.
He's had like...
It's hard not to give him points, isn't it?
We've had like 3 bad games this season. And
this pod is clearly pro, goalkeepers. Look at last year, look at this year. This pod loves a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, except the difference is last year the goalkeeper was the only one making an effort. And this year the goalkeeper's making so much of an effort that we're winning games. So it's like we've had 2 great keepers in 2 years. This will not happen. Remember our first season, Diamante won it because he was just so far ahead. We've just had 2 great keepers in 2 years.
Yeah. On that note, coming a distant second is Stephen Lustica on 77 points. And again, he's had a bang-up season. Again, we've said this 1,000 times. I did not have him in my best 11 at the start of the season because there's so much competition for the midfield. We didn't know how the midfield would be staffed. He's earned his spot. It's a bugger he's injured at the moment because he deserves to be playing in a grand final. Amazing season. Leo Lacroix coming 3rd on 72 points. 4th is Lockie Wales, so he's probably our young player of the year. 5th is Alexander Prijovic with 10 goals in the season. 6th is Joshi Risden, and he's been out for 8 weeks. Imagine where he would be. He's on 57 points, so he's had a banger as well. Connor Payne coming 7th on 55. Ben Garuccio coming 8th on 51. Neil Kilkenny coming 10th on 57. Wait.
That's a surprise for me. I would have had Killer top 3 for sure.
Well, sorry, that actually the spreadsheet was out of order because of today's votes. I didn't sort it again. Coming 7th is Neil Kilkenny. 8th is Connor Payne. 9th is Ben Garuccio. 10 is Nikolai Topper-Stanley.
Yeah, look, I think the problem for Paul Kilkenny is he's been solid every week, but he nabs a lot of ones where other people have nabbed the 3s and 2s to just get ahead of him.
He's had 1 week where he's got 15, and that was like our first game this season. And after that, it's 2s, 4s, 1s, 6s, 7s.
Yeah.
He's easy to forget about in the middle of the park when he's making sure we're not doing dumb shit.
And look, I know Young's so far ahead, and I tried to, this week, try and not give it to him. He was easily the best on the pitch, and he's been easily the best on the pitch for, at least, I'd say a third of our games this season. So,
Well, 11 clean sheets, roughly 30 games. There you go. There's the third.
Well, let's put it into perspective here. I think even Scott, who has been probably the most critical person on Jamie Young, gave him 3 points this week. Simply, he had a solid game. It's
you can't not.
Yeah, you can't argue with it.
No. Now, do you guys want to get on to the game preview?
Sure.
Yep, no problem. I can take care of that if you want. So, on Tuesday night, the 17th of the 5th, Western United will take on our state rivals and arguably one of the most informed clubs this season in a home and away fixture over the next week, Melbourne Victory. Due to the stadium situation, it obviously doesn't have the feel of a proper home and away contest. And before we get into it, what can you tell us about the toilet seat comp this year, Kellsy?
It's just, look, I can tell you, so obviously this year's different where you have the home and away, the semi-final leagues, which we're at now. But it's just, again, as you touched on, it's weird that we have the home and away game at the same venue. How often would that happen?
I can guarantee you it would happen if Victory and City were playing as well.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I would argue that potentially, sorry to interrupt, I would argue potentially if it was Victory City in the semi-leagues, if Etihad was free, I could see that being a potential venue.
Yeah, see, the problem was because our season started late and finished into the footy season, we couldn't get Etihad for a lot of the games. So Etihad was just unavailable the whole season. Sorry, Marley
MHP.
Stadium. Yeah, so like obviously it highlights two things. Like obviously Western need a stadium, and honestly, Melbourne in general need another stadium for football. It's
Yeah.
I'd like to
Because
see
you look
one,
at
even if it's in the southeast suburbs, where Melbourne City are probably going to be relocating anyway. Yeah, it just does highlight the need for another stadium, I'd say.
Yeah, and look, because you look at all the Sydney teams now, there's more of them than any other state, the New South Wales teams, but each of them have their own unique ground where they're going to be playing from. You're not getting that home and away at the same venue.
That being said, rugby league is the big comp in the state, and obviously they've got the rectangular grounds. So that's honestly why it's like so much easier for them. Obviously, Western Sydney Wanderers were playing out of Parramatta Eels Stadium when they first started. Sydney have their own ground, and Central Coast have their own ground, but Newcastle play out of the Knights Stadium as well in Newcastle. So it does make it a little bit easier for them having rugby league be the main sport of the state, and obviously all our grounds in Victoria being ovals. But still, you'd think we'd have at least two 20 plus rectangular stadiums in Victoria or Metro Melbourne. But hopefully, if Western keep their promise, we will.
Look, they're keeping the promise. I'm not getting into that debate. It's just weird that, we've got a good final in Melbourne and home and away. It's at the same venue against the same, obviously it's the same team because it's two leg. I just have a funny feeling that, without going too far ahead, this first leg might be a bit of a feeling out process ahead of the Saturday game.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. I think it's going to be a weird game. I think Victory are going to come in rested, but Western United are going to what could potentially come in pretty G'd up from the game. How much gas we've got back in the tank after Saturday's win, who knows? But I honestly think that sort of win leaves you feeling pretty energized. So it's going to be an interesting run. I personally, depending on how strong your team's going, sometimes the break can be a bit of a curse. Sometimes it breaks your momentum. And, the one added bonus of us playing a game, that extra elimination final is we've knocked a team out, and now we've broken our streak of, winless games. So we're back in the win column. We've got at least some momentum up going into playing Victory. That being said, Victory, obviously, I'd say they're the second most informed team at the moment behind Adelaide. I think probably my pick to win the flag this year, if I'm being, or not the flag, the toilet seat this year, if I'm going to be completely honest, taking all bias out, going to be a hard team, but I think we can get it done. And I think, like you said, Tuesday's probably going to be more of a feeling out process. I see it being a draw, and I think the big guns come out Saturday.
Yeah, I think that this will be, neither team will want to blink in this first leg. No. It'll be trying to test what the other one's cards are going to be. What are they going to try and do? How are they going to try and win it? I have a feeling what Tuesday is. It's the feeling out process.
Hold a bit of possession. See if you can,
It is a very
Can you
weird
move
game.
them?
It's a very weird game as well because this is the first time we've had this final set up. And obviously we all know how two-legger games work, but it is very weird just to see it in the A-League finals set up, for instance. Who knows? New tactics might be employed. Maybe some players get rested from both teams over both games. But one thing's for sure, I'd definitely be tuning into both of those. Or any finals game this season, to be completely honest.
Question here. So this is the first season, the final series, I think it's the first season, that the APL is actually running the series. Do you think it's a cash grab to have an extra game?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, yes, but I also believe top teams were complaining because the week off was stunting some of them sometimes because, as Jay was pointing out, the break can actually do them a bit of harm. So having the 2 legs, it gave them a second chance to try and capitalise on the advantage of being a top-seeded team.
Yeah, but that also just, it sort of goes either way because it's giving another team another 90 minutes to beat you. So it's
I agree, but it's what they argued for.
Yeah.
I know a couple of clubs argued for it, so that's why we've now got it.
And I mean, if I was Victory, I'd be very happy that I'd be playing Western United because it saves you a trip to Wellington. Could you imagine if Wellington had beaten us?
City would have played Wellington because City were guaranteed the lowest possible seed.
That's right.
So because we were third, they were sixth, they were guaranteed Wellington. Victory were guaranteed us if we won.
See, that's almost, Adelaide have to fly. Oh, sorry, they've got to fly to Adelaide anyway, but it's a much harder trip going to Wellington for a couple of days than flying back and playing another final. So it's like,
this actually fell into Victory's hands either way. They're either staying in Melbourne or they were going to the Central Coast.
Yeah, but now they're playing.
Or Adelaide.
They are
playing Adelaide too.
They are playing the less informed team though, because honestly, if I could pick another unbiased opinion, if I could choose between Western United and Adelaide, I'd be picking Western United at the moment. Adelaide have been looking great. They had a bit of a scary game against Central Coast, but they ended up putting them away. Central Coast have been looking great as well. So would not surprise me if they make the grand final this year, even though Melbourne City are such a good team and probably will make the granny again and could definitely win it again. Would not surprise me if Adelaide get up. Honestly, any of the 4 teams could do it this year. It's going to be a great Final Four to have. And in my opinion, the most consistent and best teams in the comp this year are in the Final Four.
I've got a question here. Who would you like to see in the grand final? My preference is Western United and Adelaide because I think that would be a great away day.
Unfortunately, we'd be playing it here.
Yeah, damn. It would have been cool to just go to Cooper.
I mean, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, there's no scenario where we play a grand final outside of Melbourne now if we were to make it.
Yeah, true. I just realised that.
Well, the grand final is guaranteed. Yeah, the grand final is guaranteed to be at Amy Park. After we beat Wellington, it was guaranteed to be in Amy Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only other way it could have been was Adelaide, Wellington played, or Central Coast. One of those 3 went through. Yeah, the second that happened, it was guaranteed Melbourne because all top 3 seeds are in Melbourne.
Yeah. Sick. Go Melbourne. Cop that. New South Wales.
Yeah, everywhere. It's the 2 southern states getting it done.
Yeah, Jay,
it's always the way.
Oh, crap. We're still doing the preview. Sorry, my bad, boys. I just got a bit carried away there in that enthralling conversation.
No, I deviated.
Well, we just went through fatigue and player management, I suppose. So I'll skip on to the next question. Who do you boys think will make the squad? Will it be a similar one to last week? Do you see maybe Risdon with a bit of match fitness in starting? Do you see Tomoki slotting back in? Do you see Rene Krins still playing at the back? A lot of questions.
Kellsy, I'll let you go first.
You let me go first? Look, it's been clear from this. You going?
No, I'm just messing with you. Carry on.
Okay, cool. Look, it's been clear from the whole season that Aloisi doesn't tend to make a heap of changes. I think the only change he potentially makes is, like you said, Tomoki slotting the centre back if Risdon's fit to start. And then either Crin goes in the midfield or goes to the bench. That's probably what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
What about you, Wallace?
I'm very much of that in that opinion. I think Crin will likely be in centre back because of I think Topper Stanley may not, judging by like being a foot injury, it could be something quite severe, and he's in his late 30s. That can be quite hard to heal from. Like you can there's so many small bones in your foot. You could do anything.
Yeah.
Ligament, and it's just. I'd love to see him back. He makes me feel confident when I have him in the back, as a centre back. But at the same point, Rene Krien, he was good against Wellington. I think he could do it. Risdon would be nice, but again, I don't see him doing the full 90.
Yeah,
maybe first 30, last 30, maybe 60.
You think, if he's playing one of them, you got to think at some point Tomoki's shifting to the right back, and Krien is in centre back. or or vice versa. Tomoki's starting right back, and we'll shift over at some point to that centre back spot. They don't tend to. I think when Dylan Wenzel-Halls was solid in the, I guess, hybrid of a cam / second striker, just doing what he, getting to float around between them. I can't see a whole lot of changes. You've got to be trying to be settled this time of the year. You can't throw in surprises unless it's, worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Do you want to see Dylan Wenzel-Halls and Wales and Prijovic in that starting 11?
Well, I don't see a reason to change him.
Nah.
I reckon potentially rest one for this first game. Just maybe Wenzel-Hall's benched for this first game, and depending on how we go, maybe bench one for the second game. Just because you sort of don't want to throw all your firepower out there and then need a goal late on and not have anyone to bring on or have inexperienced players to bring on. I definitely, personally, if it was me for this game, Prijovic, Wales, and Payne would be my front three.
Yep.
And then maybe have an extra midfielder. You've got Rene Krhin who can push up. So now once if Joshy Risdon comes back and you can push Tomoki Amaya across. So there's really a lot you can do. A lot of our players are quite flexible in the positions they play. And, we can speculate all we want, but Aloisi will know what to do come game day. I'm actually quite confident in his managerial style as things go at the moment. He seems to have done well last week, especially last week. Perfect squad picks.
Well, he's given us, I get by in terms of finishing position, this is our equal best season because obviously we won that first final in season one. But in terms of our win-losses, this is our best season by a country mile.
Didn't we finish 5th in the first season?
But we go up a position because we we beat Brisbane to go into we ended up in the top 4 because of the final position, because of the way finals work.
But regardless, we have finished our best overall standing on the table.
Yeah.
And
for the season point, and this is our equal best result in terms of depth of season. But overall, it's a much better season. It's comparing apples and oranges.
Oh, it would be third though. Even if we get knocked out this round, we'll be third because
that's right.
If Adelaide get knocked out as well, sorry.
Yes.
One more question for you, Kellsy. Mm-hmm. Would you or would you not go off if you heard the Stone Cold music and Diamante all of a sudden makes a 90th minute sub on, takes a free kick and scores a goal?
Only if he shaves his head for it as well,
and comes out with 2 stubbies in either hand.
Yeah, and the leather jacket over the top of the Western United jersey.
Do you reckon USADA would get into him for that? That has to be illegal to play after drinking 2 beers.
It's okay. He scores the free kick first.
I'm going to say something here. If he were a wrestling theme to come out to, it would, in my opinion, would be Sexy Boy HBK's theme because he likes to dance. In my opinion,
I see that too, and the glasses too. The glasses are like the HBK of the 90s.
I definitely see him. I don't know if you guys remember this one, bit of an abstract wrestler, but Nunzio, who was an Italian wrestler as well that used to walk out with budgie smugglers that said FBI on the back. FBI obviously standing for full-blooded Italian.
Full-blooded Italian.
Was that with Little Guido?
Yeah. Nunzio was Little Guido.
He was a bit of a jobber.
Circa 2004.
His most notable mentions would be when Undertaker was giving him the last ride and he does the sign of the cross before getting bombed through the ring.
When Kurt Angle absolutely destroyed him before the 2005 Royal Rumble. Oh, sorry, after. He took the spot from him. He complained about it the week after, and Angle just mugged him.
Yeah.
But let's put it but they were ECW wrestlers that never got a chance in due to the best. Sorry, I liked ECW. It's
I did too.
What else was come up with that gimmick?
As much as I love my mid 2000s WWE, I think we should move on, or else we'll just derail this whole podcast.
Yeah. I agree.
Listen to All Out WWE coming next. Coming in the off season. No. What's
So,
next, big fella?
of the 9 previous matches these two teams have played, we have 4 wins, 3 losses. But we also have our biggest loss and our lowest point from last season with a 6-1 scoreline, and that was at Amy Park as well. What are your score predictions? Sorry, for
You go first,
this
man.
game. 6-1 Western.
First leg.
Yeah, nah. I tell a lie. I'm actually going to say 1-1 for the first leg. I think it's
What
a
about the
tight,
second leg?
cagey affair.
Do you guys want to wait till after this? Do you guys want to do like a little small pod after the Tuesday night game, like a little half hour, and just discuss it and readdress it?
I reckon we should. But
Yeah.
I'm also going to give my prediction as it stands now. We'll see how much that changes after tomorrow, I reckon. So I'm going to say 1-1 in the first leg and Western get up 2-0. Oh, yeah, 2-0 in the second. 2-0 in the second.
Oh,
So I'm
you
gonna say
son of a
3-1 on
bitch.
aggregate.
You've literally just said my exact score predictions.
The reason being, I think we score early in the second, hold on for a lot of the game, and then score a late one on the
It's a
hop.
counter. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the classic Fernando Torres versus Barcelona maneuver. Pretty much empty netter.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying. Like, they've even brought the keeper, like, Privic just does the goal into the net type thing again. Or even Dylan just runs it, like, walks it all the way in to milk the time.
Yeah.
Guys.
So, obviously, me and Kellsy have the same. Or are you going to change yours, Kellsy, or are you going to have the same as me?
No, that's exactly what I'm thinking, though. It's what I see.
That's my prediction.
So,
we're going to lose
3-16
or we're going to win?
No, sorry.
Who scores a 16?
No, I just thought it'd be fun. We just got a copyright claim, man. So awesome. No. No, what I think will happen, I think tomorrow will be like a 2-2 or a 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. Both teams playing defensive, being very cautious, and then a 3-2 scenario on Saturday.
For who?
Us winning, because I have to back the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, this is my score prediction, and I'm just trying to manifest. If I was to be completely honest, I think we lose 2-1 over both legs. But it's not going to happen because I'm usually wrong about my actual predictions. So, yeah, let's hope it goes the way we want it to go. But it obviously all comes down to Saturday. But we just, as long as we've got a good base to play off from tomorrow, I'll be happy. And just to double check, because I'm not 100% sure, there are no away goals for these legs, are there?
No matter what. If it's a draw at the end, it's going to extra time penalties, if required.
I don't think my heart can take extra time penalties twice in a week, and then possibly 3 times in 3 weeks because Liverpool play against Real Madrid in the Champions League final. So,
don't forget a potential
it could be
A-League
4
grand
times
final
in 3
too.
weeks. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, if I go, honestly, my heart almost exploded about the FA Cup, and I was like, over winning that as well. Like I literally could have, if we'd lost that, I would have been oh well and back to bed. So these ones might actually, I might not make 3 pods from now.
So in other news, Jay's getting his heart tested over the next 3 weeks, and he'll know if he's got heart disease or not.
I'm gonna need a track. Well, there was actually a fact I read recently that people who watch penalty shootouts are 3 times more susceptible to heart attacks.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah,
that's stress. You guys don't need stress, guys.
Yeah,
especially if you're English, they can't do penalties.
So you know what? I'm going to forego Medicare this year and pump all Medicare money into Western United signings to stop me from having heart attacks.
Preventative health, it's the best way.
Exactly. All right. So with the fast pace of victories, will the fast pace of victories attack be too much for the proven ability of Wu's defense this week, do you reckon, boys? Obviously, we have players like D'Agostino ripping it up for the VUC. Can't fault him. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's Matthew Dunmore just in disguise.
I've heard it said.
D'Agostino.
He does play football, but
yeah,
it's a bit of cover up.
But What do you boys reckon? I think it depends on who the occasion gets to personally, but I think it's a pretty well even matched game when it comes to their attack versus our defense.
Yeah, like it'll all depend on. I think the biggest risk will be Risdon. When we play him, where we play him, how long we play him. Just because of the injury. I'm not expecting 90 minutes of gut running from Risdon.
See, personally, I wouldn't mind playing Tomogi as well at the right back because I think he's a. If you watch also when we defend corners, he's always our one player in the out. Or sorry, when we take corners, he's always our furthest player back because he is our fastest backman. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tomogi starts as well, just because I think his pace helps neutralize their wingers' speed. Especially, I believe Economides is still playing. D'Agostino is going to be hard to stop. I think we got the height in to counter his aerial ability, but obviously he's very quick and he's got an eye for goal at the moment. So it's very here nor there. Although if Jamie Young puts up a performance like last week, doesn't matter how shit our defenders want to play. I don't think they're scoring at all.
I think one of the biggest things is our defense going to be measured because I believe the Saturday night game is going to be very toasty, very argy-bargy, throwing elbows, a bit more rough. But because it's the final series, this could really impact it. Like Leo Lacroix, and I'm not saying he's a loose cannon, he's had 8 yellow cards this season and has said openly, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for the team. He's very open with that kind of, I'm not saying he's in a negative way, but he loves playing for us. He's a very... You know what I mean? He's dedicated. Could that and maybe not him, maybe a Skatardis if he's playing, could yellow cards come back and kind of bite us on the rear end here?
I mean, there's always the potential, but the defense has been predicated this year on trying not to make mistakes in stupid areas.
Yeah, I think Leo's got to stay calm like he did last Saturday. We can't afford to, if he gets sent off for a silly red and we lose him for either the second leg or perhaps even the granny, that's a big, big out. So
100%.
If I'm Leo, I'm saying I'm putting into practice what he said in the interview about just focusing on himself and keeping it cool.
Yep. And all I'm saying is, should we make the grand final, if a player wants to get themselves an intentional red card, A, make sure the opponent's subs have all been used, and B, make sure that player goes off the pitch too with you. That's all I'm saying.
It gives me real prison vibes, man.
Preferably their goalkeeper.
I like a fair game as well. However, if we were to, obviously we'd become the most hated team in the league, even more so than we are now. But if we were to win the grand final off a Suarez-esque handball off the line and then missed penalty, I would be so happy.
Or even an Henri hand a frog type incident.
Yeah. Honestly, it would truly... The A-League is obviously a league of memes. So it would be a great way to finish.
That's what the
season.
M stands for. A-League, yeah. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to
they go to VAR.
Probably the best meme page of all time.
The best thing would be happening is if they go to VAR and players are blocking the view so they can't actually make a decision.
Oh, so the 2016 grand final or whatever it was, the 2018 grand, I think it was 2018 or 2019, the one where Victory, they didn't have VAR working properly at the ground, and Victory's one goal that won them the grand final against Newcastle was offside, and it would have been offside if VAR was
2018.
Working. Yeah. A classic stitch
because I was in London. Yeah.
Geez, you'd love to.
Yeah, it would just be peak A-League.
Yeah, Gerald, make it happen. We should probably move on. Do you guys want to get to the tipping comp?
Is people tipping the finals?
Yeah, people are. You wouldn't know because you didn't log in, Kellsy.
I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here, haven't gotten a tip wrong in the tipping comp all year. Don't mind me.
We'll read out the top 6 because I'm 4th. Methodical Flamethrower, you've won the competition. I'll be in contact shortly with a prize pack. Woodson 99's coming 2nd on 76. Sherlock Machine, You say hi for me when you see him later, Kellsy.
Totally.
Good.
Yep. He'll actually be at the game tomorrow.
Oh, will he? Oh, it's nice. Do some Insta stuff for us, man. Can you give us
I'll hit him up for it.
Thanks. I'm coming fourth on 70 points. Fifth is Jeff FFS, and A-Trax is coming sixth. Shout out Harris Maney seventh. And do you guys have anything for around the grounds?
I've got a couple things. So the first thing is just a
Liverpool.
shout. Second thing is about Liverpool. First thing is actually about Western United for once. So I've been contacted by someone from the club, and they're looking to put together a small movie for our final series potentially. That involves obviously taking footage at the games and around the grounds. But they also would like some fan footage as well. So, people traveling to the games, car rides in, the pre-match pub, the walk to the stadium, just to sort of get the general feeling. So a lot of people who listen to this pod have me on Facebook, and if you don't, Jay Sutcliffe on Facebook, or get in touch with the All Out West podcast page. And feel free to send through any videos that you have from game day tomorrow and game day Saturday. We'd love to send them through to the club, put something together really special for the end of the year, something good to look back on and sort of a collection of club memories. Just thought I'd throw that one out there.
No, that's really good, Jay. Quick question. What kind of home movies do you want?
Nothing from Andrew Tran. Everything else, go for it. And the second one was I've actually got a really, really fun fact that is Liverpool related. So in the same time or between times, since the last time Everton won a trophy, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been born, gone through school, been picked up by the Liverpool Academy, and won every trophy possible. Just a good little stat there for you Toffees fans.
Our ex high school coordinator was an Everton fan, but that's the only person I know that was an Everton fan.
Exactly.
Tell me who.
Huh?
That was
After the
Mooney was the Everton fan.
Oh, no shit.
Because Lawrence Mooney's brother's also an Everton fan. They used to go over together once a year to go a game or two.
Side note, our year 12 coordinator's brother is the comedian.
Yeah, Lawrence Mooney.
Yeah, that's just a fun fact.
Yeah, they're huge Everton fans.
Yeah. No, random fact. I did not know that.
Why would you travel once a year for pure disappointment? I don't know. Probably should have just gone to Bali.
Probably just Bali would be more fun. Kellsy, do you have anything for around the grounds?
Not at all.
Shout out to the Leaf Nation, Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
No. They choked another Game 7. I'm not referencing that. That's now like 6 Game 7s in a row they've choked.
Do you know how much bad it is? I really want to wear my jersey. It's pretty cold out.
Yeah.
So
I would like to wear it too, but no, they had to suck again.
Without the shame.
Wait, where did you get your jerseys from, just quickly? Because I want to get myself a retro Gordie Howe Red Wings jersey.
I bought mine from like an eBay seller because I got I think it's the 2012 Lupul Winter Classic. I think I've got the same one as you, Kellsy, yeah?
Yeah, I got the Winter Classic with Kessel on it.
There's a lot of and let's not digress into ice hockey here too much. We've already had enough tangents with wrestling today, but there's a lot of phony ice hockey merch now in Australia, predominantly Mighty Ducks and the Blackhawks, which is for me a bit problematic, but hey, whatevs.
I do have a Chicago Blackhawks shirt kicking around somewhere. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of dodgy teams.
But that's only because I go for Detroit and they're Detroit's rivals, and somebody bought me that shirt, and I was like, yeah. This is a shit post. That's now gone very, very wrong. But I digress.
Let's go back to it. Kellsy, anything for around the grounds?
No, not at all.
Cool. I'd like to get into carded, and I'd like to give a shout out to some people I met at the end of the game when I was quite off chop, and they were quite lovely. The Wellington fans, the little corner of yellow. and they're a New South Wales-based fans of Wellington Phoenix. They do a lot of traveling. They're lovely. They have a sheep called Dolly, an inflatable sheep that they bring, which is hilarious. Just good people. And hopefully the camera picks this up. But they gave me these little shield design things with the logos and information from the game there. Quite nice little mementos. So I believe I gave you one of them as well, Kellsy.
Yes, I've got one. It's in my not in this room, it's in a different room actually, but I've got it.
Yeah, it's a really nice memento from the game. I really enjoy a lot of the Wellington fans I've met during games or just dealt with online. Shout out great people. But check them out on Twitter as the little corner of yellow. Just genuinely nice people.
And all the ones that aren't nice people can suck it because we beat you when it counts. Have fun in the final. Oh, wait, no, you didn't make it and you've never made a semi. Suck it, Welly. Sorry. We do get a
Careful.
I do get a lot of shit from a few Welly fans. There is a large amount that do hate us. Actually, it's about 50-50 that like us and hate us. So
They'll be hussing you all week now.
I love that.
Doesn't matter anyway, man. What are they going to do? They're in Wellington.
They'll huss.
I like the friendly rivalry we have because we don't. It's not like other rivalries we have where it's just a bit of shit talking, nothing really crazy. It's fun.
It's fun.
Honestly, I do take the piss. When we went into Wellington for the first game, and they had a thief and three traitors banner going up. We actually got invited back to their post-game and pre-game pub by the Yellow Army, and we had a drink with them. And obviously, we were gloating a little bit, but we weren't assholes, and they were pretty cool about it. They're a good bunch of supporters over there, and boy, I'm keen to head over there. Hopefully next season.
Yeah,
Great away trip. Couldn't.
Yeah, I'd like to do that one.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of good breweries out that way too, from what my understanding of New Zealand. But I think that's about us for the day, guys. Does anyone have any cards?
Nah, not off the top of my head.
Nah.
Hopefully for Bizanic or D'Agostino next week, or on Tuesday, should I say?
I'd like to see some victory red cards.
Yeah, well, we might put a cork in it there because we've had an hour and 8 here, which is pretty solid, guys. Big week for the Woo. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. All West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we?